Your paycheck hits your account and for a moment, you can breathe. You see $1,200 or $1,800 sitting there like a fresh start. If you earn a modest income and feel stuck, you know what often comes next. By the weekend, the number is almost gone. If your balance hits $0 within days, what is the first move that quietly sets you up to lose? For households earning under about $50,000 a year, roughly 1 in 3 are living close to paycheck when necessities take nearly the whole check. And a lot of adults still couldn't cover a $400 surprise with cash alone. If this is your life, you're not failing. You're living a pattern millions of people are living right now. This is Wealth Mentor Pro, where every lesson is a step closer to your freedom. Today, we're looking at the payday crash, why your money disappears so fast, and what you must do first when you get paid. You'll leave with a clearer explanation and 3 simple rules you can use immediately, even if your income is around $1,500 to $3,500 a month. Most advice treats this like a discipline problem, but for low and middle incomes, it's often an order problem. Fix the order and your month gets calmer even if your income hasn't changed yet. Let's start with the first trap: autopilot. When the paycheck arrives, our brains can switch into "we survived" mode. Autopilot is relief with a shopping cart. Imagine you bring home $2,200 a month. In the first 5 days, you buy 2 $25 takeout dinners, spend $18 on snacks and coffee 3 times, and grab a $40 small treat because the week was rough. That's about $170. None of it looks dramatic by itself, but together, it quietly steals breathing room from week 2. Many videos on this topic skip the most dangerous window. They say, just cut spending, without naming the specific moment spending spikes, the first 72 hours after payday. The mind wants reward before the plan is built. Sometimes the plan is just us standing in the kitchen asking, is cereal a dinner? We've all had a version of that week. Do this today. Set a 48-hour pause for any non-essential over $25 after payday. You can still buy the thing, you just buy it with a calmer brain. Ignore this, and your paycheck gets assigned to comfort first, not stability. And if you're thinking, but I barely treat myself, the next part matters even more. Second trap is your money map. Most budgets online assume bills are evenly spaced. Real life rarely is. Your paycheck has to move through a crowded stretch of the month. Imagine you're paid $1,200 every 2 weeks. Rent is $900 on the first. The car payment is $220 on the third. Your phone is $60 on the fifth. By day 5, you're down to $20 before groceries and transit. That isn't reckless. That's timing. Do this today. Write your next 30 days of due dates on one page. Then circle anything that lands within 5 days of payday. If you can, ask one company to move a due date by a week. Even a single shift can create oxygen. When timing stays invisible, late fees and overdrafts start behaving like monthly subscriptions you never wanted. The emotional cost is heavy too. You start believing you're bad with money when you're actually fighting a calendar pileup. So let me ask you this. If your bill timing was smoother, how different would week 2 feel? The third trap shows up even when you know your numbers. Autopilot returns when there is no cushion. Without a micro buffer, every surprise becomes a debt decision. Picture a household earning $3,200 a month. Rent is $1,400. Daycare is $600. Groceries are $500. And insurance plus utilities are another $350. The margin is thin before life even happens. Then a car repair shows up at around $800. One surprise doesn't just hurt this week, it borrows peace from your next paycheck too. This is why save 3 to 6 months can feel impossible at first. The goal isn't wrong. The first step is smaller. Do this today. Open a separate no panic fund and aim for your first $100. If $100 feels far, aim for $25 and build from there. The stake is long-term exhaustion. When every month depends on everything going right, your nervous system never gets a break. And no one is at their best with money when they're worn down. So here's the core truth again. Your balance hits zero fast because your first payday sequence isn't protecting you yet. Here's the twist most people miss. Highlight real advice jumps straight to big saving percentages or investing early. That can be great later. But for low and middle incomes, the first win is stability. A small system beats a heroic plan. So let's install 3 simple switches you can use on your very next payday. Rule 1. Protect the next 2 weeks of essentials before anything optional. The benefit is immediate calm because your housing, basic food, and transport no longer compete with impulse spending. For example, if your 2-week essentials total about $900, move that $900 into a separate account, envelope, or labeled category the same day you're paid. This is how you stop gambling week 2 on week 1 feelings. It also makes decisions cleaner. If essentials are covered, you can use the remaining dollars with fewer surprises. Quick question for you. What is the first expense that usually knocks you off balance after payday? Rent, debt, groceries, or car costs? Share one word in the comments. You're not the only one dealing with that pressure point. Rule 2. Build a micro buffer of $100 to $300 before you chase bigger goals. The benefit is that small shocks stop turning into high-interest debt. For example, saving $25 per paycheck gets you to $200 in about 8 paychecks. That can cover a utility spike, a medical copay, or part of an unexpected repair instead of pushing it onto a card with a 20% interest rate. Keep paying minimums on all debts. This isn't ignoring debt. This is stopping new debt from being born. Rule 3. Turn what's left into weekly limits, not one big pile. The benefit is you reduce the payday binge effect without shaming yourself. For example, after essentials, minimums, and your small buffer, maybe you have $200 for flexible spending over 2 weeks. Split it into $100 for week 1 and $100 for week 2. When week 1 ends, that portion ends. This gentle boundary protects your future self. It also helps you answer the quiet question of where did it all go, with real numbers instead of confusion. Now let's resolve the question from the start. What must you do first when you get paid? You don't need a perfect budget. You need a short ritual you can repeat. On payday, open your account and assign money in this order: 2-week essentials, micro buffer, minimum debt payments, then weekly flexible spending. If your numbers are small, that still counts. A $10 buffer deposit is a vote for stability. A $50 hold for next week's groceries is real strategy, not wishful thinking. Over time, your first $100 becomes $200, then $300, and the zero balance panic starts to loosen its grip. Picture that opening moment again. The paycheck lands. You still feel relief because you're human. But now, you don't drift into autopilot. You glance at your money map, protect your floor, place a small cushion between you and chaos, and give yourself realistic weekly lanes. 3 days later, your balance may not be perfect, but it won't be zero by surprise. This is Wealth Mentor Pro. If this helped you feel a little more steady, give the video a like and consider subscribing for calm, practical money guidance. And if you want to keep going, the next video waiting for you can help you reinforce this system so it holds even on the hard months.